my chat family. How are you guys doing? This is Marlene Saunders show where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. Thank you so much to every single one of you for tuning in to today's conversation podcast. And I wanted to say to every single one of you, thank you so much for supporting me and supporting this channel. Today, we're going to be talking about everything is not good for everyone. And that is the truth. Everything is not good for everyone because we have to learn to express individuality, right? That is a whole real thing. What you like, another person won't like, and we have to know what is really going to help us, and we also have to know what is also hurting us. And just another thing that I think is very important to say in this conversation, that everything is not good for everyone. Why would you want what everybody else has? You have to really pay attention to energy, to feelings, to your talents and your gifts and lots of other things, because that's what truly makes us happy. Not trying to be a follower, but being a leader and knowing what actually makes us happy. Is it really bringing us peace? Or are we doing things to make other people happy? Are we people pleasing? Or are we really taking note of what is really working? So I did want to say that, everybody. Celebrate your individuality. There's nobody that is like you. There's nobody that's like me. And I love that. And we should value that about ourselves and not look to other people. Why should you want to be like anybody else? Why do you want to follow what everybody else is doing? Okay? And what works for one may not work for another. And there's three things that I want to talk about why that is just doesn't work for everybody. So number one thing is usually clothing. And we know that there's all sorts of clothing styles. You have two people and they put on the same outfit, but one person is just going to look better in it because that is them. That's how they dress. They have the personality. So it's a lot of factors that go into it. And that's what I want to say. Everything is not good for everyone. And don't try to follow the fads and the styles and this and what's trending. You have to dress how you dress, with what you like. And I love that part of being a mature adult is knowing what really works, what really looks good on you, what really looks good on me. And I'm going to keep doing that. So clothing, that's the first thing. And there's a lot of people who would say something negative about this, but certain things just don't look good on everybody. Let's be real when it comes to clothing, certain clothing styles. And I believe as we age, we need to be evolving with our age. As I'm getting older, covering up. There's certain things that now it's time to bring in modesty. Now it's time for you to be a role model. There's always that time in your youth where you do all kinds of things, but as we get older, we need to be role models and examples, okay? Point number two, everything is not good for everyone, and that's gifts and talents. If more people would focus in on what they're good at, what is their talent, minding their own business and letting themselves be great instead of comparing, or even worse, competing with another person. What I'm good at may not be what you're good at, but it doesn't mean that what you do is less than. We all need to celebrate our own personal gifts and talents and love that. Be happy, embrace it, know your worth. And other people may not like it, but that's their problem. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. Don't let anybody take you down and break you down. Celebrate your gifts. Use your gifts. and love yourself for who you are. And the third and the last point that I want to bring out, that everything is not good for everyone, and that is friendships and relationships. You know, when you're younger and you think everybody is your friend, or you think certain people are your friends, and come to find out that they're not your friends, they're using you, or they want something from you, they're just a taker. And the same thing with relationships, all relationships in general. Not all relationships are good for us. Not all relationships are helpful and help us to grow. There are a lot of relationships that will keep you stagnant and stuck because they are toxic. And that is a real talk right there. Some people are never good for us. They're going to hurt us. They're going to break us down. And I have seen people surround themselves with toxic individuals, and it has caused them their demise. They wind up in prison, or they wind up in a prison of their own mind because they're always putting them down. So you really have to be careful about who you associate yourself with, who you call your friend, who you say is the person that you love, because everyone is not good for us. And even if maybe we may have feelings for people, it doesn't mean they're good for us. And there are some people that we just need to let go of. Okay, this is the last thought that I have on this topic for today. You have to know what's good for you. You individually, not what your aunt, sister, cousin, this person, those on social media have to say. You have to know what is good for you and what is working, and then pay attention. How about that? You have to know what's good for you and then pay attention to that. I always like to evaluate when I'm around certain individuals. Do they help my mental health, or do they hurt my mental health? Are they making me a more positive person, or do I feel on edge and angry when I'm around them? Those are the things that we need to pay attention to, and not going inside of us and feeling like we did something, because a lot of people project their fears and their insecurities onto us. And that is not a good thing. So I just wanted to say that everything is not good for everyone, and every person isn't good for everyone, and every clothing style and what other people want to do with their lives, that may not work for you. Okay? What a person wants to do with their life may not be something that you want to do with yours, and that's okay. But you have to learn to be happy with yourself. Be happy with your life. Use your gifts. Love yourself. And be confident enough to know what's working in your life and what's not. And if it's not working, have enough courage to walk away. Okay? That takes a real woman, and it takes a real man to know what is not working, what is not helping, and leaving those people alone. Because we're worth it, right? You're worth it. I'm worth it. When you realize your potential and your worth and your value, you're not going to let people walk over you and use you and abuse you. But we also have to elevate our mindset and know what is good. We can find out the reason why maybe we're stuck in our life could just be because we're allowing other people to get in our head and bring us down. We're allowing other people to destroy our dreams with words. And if you remove yourself from those people, you will get to happiness and peace. Okay? So thanks so much for tuning in, chat family. I will tap in on the next one. This is the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If it's your first time here, feel free, subscribe. And if you're watching in the replay, leave me a comment below. Give this a thumbs up. And I most definitely will try my best to tap in on tomorrow for another real talk and real conversation for 15 minutes or less. Bye-bye, guys.